Eric Clapton. He didn't know that the Eric Clapton was coming through, okay? He learned a lesson that a day.
Hello, Black Hole. See this brother winning, man. A-R-E. Hey, look, what is it, win, big? What is it, win, big? What is it, win, big? Can't see.
Well, hello there, love bugs. Hello there, Bellas. If you have not already done so, please remember to like, share to Facebook, subscribe, and visit uptopbeauty.com. Today's looky would be our punk funk shades. Oh, I'm giving it, right? And if this is not your speed, just go on over there, look through the website, and I'm sure you will find something that will accommodate your needs. And if you are not already a part of this book club, please hit the Patreon link below and or the join button here on the YouTube, and for a small monthly fee of $5, you babies. Yes, you can be privy to all the shenanigans before the YouTube gets it, if the YouTube gets it. Now, let's talk about, or continue talking about, this bullshit right here. Bobby Womack's My Story. What is this? 1944 to 2014. Yeah, you're going to need more people with this one, Bobby. Because you leaving shiz out, the Bobby. I went down to Memphis. Wilson Pickett had hit me to the place. Bobby, he said, there are some white boys down there. If you closed your eyes, you could not tell they weren't black. Those fuckers can play. Those efforts were playing at a place called American Sound. Now, Memphis was hot. There was Stax, and across the street, American Sound, which was coming strong. Stax was too locked up for me, but American, run by a guy called Chips Moman, had everyone cutting there. It was just a funky old hole in the wall in a real bad section of town at the corner of Thomas and Chelsea, but it had a vibe. It all worked. I headed there. After breaking from Stax in 1962, Moman had hit Nashville playing guitar on some country tunes before returning to Memphis to start American. He got himself a strong house band with Bobby Emmons on keyboards, Tommy Cogbill on bass, Bobby Wood, the piano player, drummer Gene Chapman, and Mike Leach, who also played bass and arranged strings. Life was too easy for me staying in Sam's old place in Los Feliz. It was robbing me of all my ideas. I could pick up that $50 that Barbara left on the dresser every day and not go hungry. I want to know what Barbara's zhuzh was. What was Barbara thinking? Like, why was she so easy to take care of somebody else? I don't get that. Like, okay, now let me say this also. Is it me? But do Barbara Cook look like Jocelyn Hernandez? I just want to know, what was her thing? Why was she okay with taking care of a young nigga? Luckily, they didn't have PlayStations back then, because that bitch would have bought him every Air Force One he wanted, every PlayStation game, every jersey. I don't know what the young people want. Oh, no. That's from the early 2000s. Now them niggas want Valentino sneakers. You can't just buy Air Force Ones no more. You got to buy them sneakers, like Pradas and Balenciagas and stuff like that. How was she okay with that, y'all? Put below. Why do you think that woman was okay with taking care of this boy? Life was too easy for me staying in Sam's old place in Los Feliz. It was robbing me of my ideas. I could pick up that $50 that Barbara left on the dresser every day and not go hungry. I need to feel hungry again, I told my wife. I've nothing that I've worked for myself. To get back to the ghetto was what I needed. Get young, get hungry, and start producing. Barbara was trying to have his ass round there drinking Metamucil with her. You know, he 20. She 31. Not that, you take Metamucil at 31, or Fiberall. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's like you was trying to turn this young boy into an old ass man where he was satisfied with just being. So I flew down to Memphis and found myself the cheapest flea pit in town. The Trumpet Motel, one rackety old room, one bed, single and well used with a tiny kitchenette. Junior Walker, B.B. King, they all stayed there. And there were no distractions, just the music. I dug that no one bothered me there. No one asked me about Sam Cooke or nothing. It was just musicians hanging, playing the best they could and showing each other their tricks. They just knew me as Bobby Womack, the guitar player. I was especially good at the intros. That's what made Moman and the others notice me, and I started making good money. They called me cold-blooded the way I would slip a guitar break in to make a track sing. Give a crafty hook to the intros, something people don't forget. I played on everything. I mean every effing thing that came into town. Aretha Franklin, Jackie Wilson, Joe Tex, Joe Simon, King Curtis, and Dusty Springfield when she was recording Dusty in Memphis. Elvis Presley must have heard about us, or at least his people had. He called around to cut sides from Elvis in Memphis. We weren't that impressed. Yeah, man, Elvis is coming. So what? The guy had his day, so we thought it was like no big deal. But then he showed up. The back door opened and in walked Elvis, and we all backed up a step. He looked great. He had some kind of charisma that was pretty powerful, and then he had his posse always matching him, lighting his cigarettes. There'd be 7 or 8 guys flicking out their lighters, click, click, click. My grandma used to watch all the Elvis Presley movies every Saturday all the way up until 5 o'clock when the Soul Train came on. That's how I know all these great movies, y'all. That's how I know all these old white Hollywood people, okay? Because I was watching TV with my grandma, okay? That is a blessing to still have your grandmother, especially if your grandmother's from the old school, okay? Like now I'm old school. But if your grandmother was like born in the 20s or the early 1900s, man, that is a blessing because your grandmother instilled in you a sense of class and decorum. Okay? Now these grandmas, I don't know. It's just different because the grandmothers now are trying to accommodate this new era, So I don't have a problem with these grandmothers now. It's just different. Let me take a break so I can drink my strawberry watermelon juice from the Starbucks. So anyway, let me say this, before I move further. I know you're like, nah, you're always going to the left. Sorry. But y'all look, part of the reason why people go broke is because they trying to take care of their crew. Let me say this. When he talk about Elvis bringing in 1,000 people with him, it remind me of the MC Hammer. Remember? MC Hammer went brokety, brickety, brackety, brokety, okay? Because he had at least 100 people on tour with him, okay? He had to pay the dancers, the man who put the oil on the dancer's leg, the man who wiped his brow, the female who took care of his jerry curl, all of that. This nigga didn't have no sense of budget. Because he was enjoying the money while it came. He wasn't thinking about what happens when this money slow down. Like the Fetty Wap. Baby, all you need is the necessities. That would be you, if you bringing your baby with you, your baby, your woman with you. Sometimes you bring the bitch and put her in the other room. You know what I'm saying? But other than that, I don't get it. And you might need 2 hitters. All right? That's the best you need. 2 hitters. You don't need like 13 hitters. Just 2 good ones. All right. Matter of fact, you could just get some of them dudes from the Vietnam War. My sister's father was a, what do you call them people? What do you call him? It's not a shooter. What is it? My sister's father was the guy who had, he was a bad motherfucker with a thing. It's not a shooter. What is it? Y'all know what I'm talking about? The guy who is like the man who could shoot a target 1,000,000 miles away. That's what my sister's father could do. That's all you need to do. How a mother that came back from Vietnam who skill sets say kill a motherfucker 1,000 miles away. See, Mr. Elvis wasn't too tired. Well, they got kicked out of there by Chips pretty early on, and we could get down to some business. We'd hang out with Elvis, chat about school, Memphis, anything. Just a bunch of guys shooting the breeze, talking shiz. Someone would name a song and we'd play it. Elvis wasn't the kind of guy to do another take. He had gotten away from the thing of staying up all night in a studio and by then was used to having everything programmed. It was like he was on stage all the time. He had all his outfits on, the big collars, all the fancy shit. He dressed up all the time. You knocking me out with that one. Tell me this nigga got his whole outfit on just going to the studio? Bruh, I'm telling you, if I was a star, I would be terrible. I would roll in that bitch with some slippers on, some sweatpants, and a wife beater. My head might have a bonnet on his head. I worked on Aretha Franklin session for the album Lady Soul. I was playing guitar with a cigarette in my mouth. Cool. It was 1967. The track Good to Me As I Am to You turned out to be one of my most embarrassing moments. When it came down to the blues, I was never a blues player, but I was doing my best. The producer, Jerry Wexler, said he was looking for something else. He asked if I heard of the Yardbirds. I said no. He said if it is okay by me, they'd like to get this guy, get him to play the blues parts. So I said fine, no big deal. But I was thinking to myself, fucking white boy, gonna come in and play the blues and tell me, Bobby Womack, I'm supposed to be the man. Eric Clapton. He didn't know that the Eric Clapton was coming through, okay? He learned a lesson that day. Eric Clapton was very polite. He had his little guitar and asked if he could use my amp. I told him he was doing the gig. He could have my guitar if he wanted it. He didn't. He started to play. There was nothing I could say. I was looking at him. The mother hunchy could play guitar. He could really play. It reached my heart, so I knew it. I went to the bathroom, washed my face, and came out. I told Clapton it was a pleasure meeting him. He said, I'm only trying to do what I can do. And I said, you sure did. He knew how to play the blues, and I could never bend the notes like he could. Ooh, ooh. Good job. When you are a musician, and you are a good musician, and you recognize musicianship at its best, and then you congratulate or you give that person kudos, man, that's a big deal to me. Because for Bobby Womack, let me tell you who I think is an amazing guitarist. And y'all going to be like, Nay, why you always got to go around there to the white boys? I don't know. Sometimes the white boys just be bad. The white boy who played guitar on Shit Goddamn Get Off Your Ass and Jam, that shit was amazing. Now, I don't know who it was, but listen to it, y'all. When you get a chance, listen to George Clinton's or Parliament's Shit Goddamn Get Off Your Ass and Jam. That white boy was killing it. You hear me? And I know Jimi Hendrix is a beast. He is. My instruments that move me the most are the horns. Ooh, it does something to me. Ooh, my goodness. And then right after that would be the guitar, okay? I love George Benson. All of my albums were basically white guys playing on it. I never wanted to tell anybody because I wanted to keep that quiet. This was soul music, and people said white people can't do so. I got my education playing on the sessions in Memphis and at Muscle Shoals, Alabama. That's a magical place, y'all. There's something about that. Muscle Shoals will bring out the best in any musicians. You hear me? I wanted to say to those white guys, how did you learn to play black music? I'd gotten myself down to nearby Muscle Shoals in Alabama when Wilson Pickett rolled into town from New York. I hadn't seen Pickett since I'd been out on the road with him. already done so, please remember to like, share to Facebook, subscribe, and visit uptopbeauty.com for these punk funk shades. Now remember this, the same people you meet on the way up will always be the same people that you meet on the way down. My naysayers, my patron loves you babies. Have a good one.